of Stevens Point Historic Preservation Design Review Commission meeting, recorded August 1st, 2023.
Different era.
Okay.
Yep, we got 5
5
o'clock, so I'll kick start in the absence of our chair and vice chair. I'll kick start the August 1, 2023 meeting of the Historic Preservation Design Review Commission. We'll start with the roll call. Seifert is excused. Monk is excused. Christensen?
Here.
Calnan?
Here.
McFarland is excused. Malevsky?
Here.
And Cutler is excused, and barely we have a quorum. So before we get to item number 2, in the absence of both the chair and the vice chair, I'll entertain any nominations to appoint one of you 3 as temporary chair for the duration of this meeting.
Go ahead. He's been appointed.
No.
Whomever wants to.
Yep. I will.
Okay.
I'll nominate.
Yourself?
No.
Mark?
I can't do that.
You can't do
He
it.
can't. It's got to
Yeah,
be one of
it
the
has to be
council
one of
members.
you 3.
Oh. See, don't know the rules.
Me neither.
I guess,
You walk me through.
And you can
There we
nominate
go.
yourself if there's anybody who wants
Walk me
to.
through. All right.
I'll nominate my counterpart here.
Okay. Any other nominations? All right. All those in favor of appointing Commissioner Malevsky as temporary chair of this meeting signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. It is your meeting.
All right.
So we'll start with item number 2 then.
So we did the roll call. Report of the historic preservation meeting of, that's the old one, sorry. I was just reading the old one. Of June 26, 2023, meeting of the Historic Preservation Design Review Commission. Is there a motion to approve?
I so move.
Is there a second?
I will second.
It is first and second approved, so
Then any corrections?
any corrections?
Looks, as I read through, it looked good, so none that I saw.
It is so moved.
Then we'll just need a
Take
vote.
a
Okay.
vote, yeah.
Okay, we'll take a vote. All right,
All those in favor
all those in favor?
signify by saying aye.
I wasn't here, so.
You can still vote on
Yeah.
Can vote,
approval
okay.
or
All right,
denial of the minutes.
Okay, all right.
So all those in favor say aye,
Aye.
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 and then all opposed? Perfect.
So
Then you got-
approved.
Yeah.
The next on the agenda is a request from Dale Warner for a design review to perform restorative improvements on the accessory building located at 2101 Clark Street, consistent with Chapter 22.05.
All right, so I'll give just a brief background information and then kick it back to the applicant to provide some more testimony. So the request before you all is to perform more of a larger scale improvement for the existing carriage house located on the subject property, 2101 Clark Street. I'm just gonna pull up can't get an aerial off of or street view off of Reserve, but I'll just do the next best thing. So the carriage house would be more of the darker shaded, more of a forest green color. This would be the area in question for this design review. So this design review would encompass 3 different improvements, one being re-siding the carriage house to match the white siding that this commission approved about a year and a half ago. The second project would be to pour new concrete footings. Naturally, the age of this building, even if you put for any building, if you put a lot of tender love and care on a historic building, they'll reach a point where you'll have to do more of these larger, more expansive type of projects, this being one of them, and then the last one being a re-roofing project. So pretty straightforward, just by the nature of the request that's presented by the applicant, this would be considered a major work and subject to commission review. So with that, I'll kick it over to the applicant if you wanted to provide any comments, testimonies, or if not, answer any questions.
Sure. I got
First of all, thank you for putting this on the agenda for review. I brought John Marceau with me, who's a contractor that I've done many projects with for business and personal. He's here just as support in case we have any technical questions. The Carriage House, we've owned this property for, I think, 23 years now. And in that time, you know, the Carriage House dates back to the late 1800s. In the time that I've owned the property, many walls have kind of rolled off the dirt foundations that they were on. So there's a lot of walls that are pitched and getting really out of disrepair. So in talking with Adam in the city earlier, they either authorized us to, they said it probably wouldn't be a problem to get an order to raise it and take it down. And my initial thought was to build a replica, but then we found out that that wasn't possible due to code. I'd have to take it down and put up a little 3-stall garage, and it wouldn't be very becoming of the property. So I've decided to invest the capital into it to resurrect it, to make it last another 100 years, hopefully. But it does require a lot of footing work and straightening out walls and things of that nature. We've already done a couple walls because some were caving in, so the city allowed us to get working on some footings in certain areas, but we want to do the footings for the whole property and then jack it up and drop it back down on the footings, straighten all the walls, get a new roof on with age-appropriate shingles that would match what was there, and basically kind of resurrect it to its former glory with the more modern siding rather than trying to deal with all this rotten siding that is very, very old. We'd like to just use the wood product that we did on the house to match it color for color and kind of keep it in its, you know, former glory. A couple of the things, Adam, I don't know if you had in there. There's a couple areas that we do want to replace also, namely garage doors. They have the wooden garage doors that are on there from the photo you had from 1920s still had those garage doors, and mechanically they're hard to keep functional. Their parts are hard to come by, and yeah, those are the same doors I have right now.
Yep.
So we would like to try to match up something that is new and more modern also, and I don't know if I talked to you about that or not, but there are a couple other little things we would like to do in the scope of the project on top of what you mentioned.
They would look the same, but just updated doors.
Yeah. And, you know, we could run those by you and your committee too if you wanted to see later on for another meeting what we're looking at.
Yeah, I'd say when you have specs on that, send that
Okay.
over. There is some latitude where I can approve of that
Okay.
internally.
Sure.
I'll just have to look at that first to see what level of approval would be.
Sure. And then the last comment, I know John knows contracting and building more than I do, but a lot of the walls are built on dirt right now. So when we've jacked up the property to pour new footings, a lot of that woodwork that's down low is rotten and just withered and it's deteriorating.
Right.
So I know John had concerns about us wanting to probably rebuild some walls from new materials from the floor up to a certain height
Right.
to get the structure proper. Wouldn't affect the appearance of the outside of the garage, but some of the inside woodwork of the barn wood and stuff may be impacted if we are able to do that.
But that wood is also all tore up and pretty bad shape too as well. So, and rather than, right now we're up about this high with all rotted wood. Rather than just piecing in the bottom pieces, we'd like to go up to at least that, where that floor starts up there and then from there down. We'd keep the same window sizes. We actually save the same sashes. We'd reuse everything there, but it would look, windows would be in the same place. Replace the wall.
Would all three of the garage doors then match by the end of the project, or would the one be different from the?
The one on the
two
far
of the
right, I
garage?
didn't put that in. Somebody put
Right.
that in. I don't think they were supposed to. Somebody did some work, and I don't think they were supposed to put that in to get a motorhome or something in there.
That's what it was.
I did what, is that what it was?
motorhome.
Yeah. I don't have intentions on changing that door. I'd be open to changing the door. I wish it looked like the photo from the 1920s, to be
Yeah,
honest, because I don't
That's what I
need
was kind
that.
of hoping too, because
Yeah.
I love the original ones.
Yeah, I don't need that big overhead door over there. But again, in the scope of what I'm spending on this project, it's a lot of resources. But I would consider it, I would consider it.
Right.
When we're looking at the other doors we want to replace, I could certainly consider it as part of the project. Yeah, we can look into it. The goal is if we rebuild a few walls to bring this back to the strength and straighten out the walls, we'll put the windows back in that were there, we'll reframe them and make them age appropriate and make them look identical to what they were. We'll keep the same double hung window with that old style glass, and none of that would be changed. But just for full disclosure, we wanted to tell you kind of what we want to do.
Sure.
Sure. I think before we get to any more questions from the three of you, I think we'll take a motion.
Does someone want to make a motion to?
I would move approval of the application for the renovation of the restorative project.
Sounds elegant.
A second. I'll second it.
Okay. And now we can
And
do
so, right, and so the
questions
discussion.
or just
Right,
discussion.
Right.
I'm just really happy that you have decided to maintain that building because it is one of the few that are left around town. I don't even know if there's a big one like that left, and I know that your family, way back when, had caissons in there, right?
Yes,
Yes, for the funeral home.
yeah.
So, I mean, it's just really a significant building.
Yeah, it used to be a funeral home, and they would, they'd have the horse-drawn hearses in there. I still have black lacquered yokes from horses up in the rafters. The Historical Society gentleman years ago stopped by and was talking to me about it, and he showed me around that, and yeah, there's still, the yokes are in there still. So it's just like it was from when I moved in 25 years ago. It's a pretty impressive structure, really, a lot of history,
Right.
yeah.
And I just want to compliment you on the job. I've been watching the project as it's unfolded. You've put a lot of time and effort in TLC to do it, and you've done an incredible job on it.
Yeah,
So
well, thank you. It's a labor of
compliments.
love and resources, and my wife and I love the house, and it's our forever property until we're not in this area. So it's been a fun project, and I want it to be a flagship house for the city is what my goal is.
I think the other thing is, if you put the white siding on and you leave that large door, it's not going to look the same.
It'll be, yeah.
It's going to blend in a little bit.
It'll be less intrusive then.
Yes.
I just like the style of the original doors, you know?
Right.
Yeah, they are beautiful, and they're a little scary. They're rickety, and they've got these huge springs, and when they open and close all the time, I just think of a spring from 1900, and I'm like, this is going to be bad someday. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Maybe if you put some new ones in that location that look old, you know?
Right.
Maybe you'll go, yeah, that big white door just don't look right there. You know?
yeah, yeah.
And my motion to approve would be on your original proposal, but if I trust you using your judgment. You've done such a fine job restoring this in the past. I know if it doesn't look right, you'll end up doing the right thing. I have full confidence
Yeah,
in that.
absolutely. That's not a question, so that's
So
true.
if you can, I would like to amend my motion, so although Adam would have.
Or add a condition?
No, not even a condition, because I want it to be up to him. I wouldn't require him to change it, but if he does choose to change it, he doesn't have to come back. You have that, he has our approval to do that too. He doesn't have to come back to the group.
Sure. Okay. Well, I appreciate that. We appreciate getting a little wiggle room on the project, and we'll keep you guys appraised on what we're doing regardless, and, yeah.
So
Anytime.
now, Adam, do we need to update our building permit on that as far, because we just had a building permit for that one area and then that other wall, so.
Yeah, I'd say email me that tomorrow, and then I can pass that over to Lauren, and
Okay.
I'm assuming she can just update the records internally and
Yeah,
wouldn't have to
it'll-
issue a new permit.
It'll be
but-
cost too, because I don't think we did, now it's gonna go above what we originally said, so.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I'll get you some information on that.
okay. So we still have a motion to approve the design review. Any other comments, questions?
No.
Points of clarification?
I'll just join with everybody else and say, I
Right.
think it's wonderful what you're doing.
Right.
Keeping the look, keeping the intent is,
Yeah.
I believe, what we really need to be doing.
Yeah.
And construction, having them understand that there are paths forward that will satisfy both us, and keeping the buildings functional
Yeah.
in the future is really what we're trying to do.
Sure. Excellent.
Cool.
All right.
Okay, and then we'll just need to vote
So we will vote on the proposed,
the motion.
the motion, but we don't have any amendments, or do we?
Well, it's with an amendment that if he would like to, that if he chooses to change that third door, that,
Recreate the old door?
that he, to match the two.
I
So-
think we should have that then as a separate motion to add that as part of the request. That's what I would say, just to
You
for it to
could.
be kosher.
Since I originally made the motion, I probably could amend it, but it's fine with me either way.
Okay, how about we make a new,
That's-
you
so
make
we'll
that
vote on-
motion?
We'll do an amendment first, we'll vote on it, so if you want to do it that way.
Yeah, that's fine, either or. Your call.
So if you do it that way, then we would first vote on the amendment to allow him
Right,
to do the
right,
third door,
right.
if he'd like, and then once that's been chosen, then you would have a second vote on the original motion to
Right.
approve the project.
Right.
Okay.
So-
just for the record, then we'll have you state the amendment.
So I propose an amendment to allow them to change the third door, give them a conditional approval if they so decide to do that,
Subject to staff.
subject to
review.
staff
Just
approval, staff
approval.
review.
Right.
Then a second.
So-
on the-
Is there a
on that
second?
Amendment.
I'll second that.
And all in favor?
Change those doors.
All
Aye.
right?
Aye.
Okay, so we got that
And we don't-
amendment added, and then we just need a motion.
Okay.
for-
We already have the
a
original
vote
motion.
for the
on-
full
So the
motion
original
plus
motion,
that
right, so
amendment.
we'll vote on the original motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion is passed.
Perfect. All right, then we stand adjourned at
Agenda's exhausted.
5:16 PM.
Thank you, everybody.
A video of this meeting is available for viewing on the city's website, stevenspoint.com/videos.